Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Wednesday and it's 12 o'clock noon, and you are here to hear me give my rundown for the noon report on Street News Now. I am your host, Dr. Ron, and I'm so glad that you guys stopped in to see what's going on today. I got a little list of stuff that I want to talk about, but as always, the first thing that I want to do is give a shout out to my mentor. You know, every broadcast that I do, it is very important for me to shout out one of the most important mentors in my life, and that is Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. And out of that 30 plus years, he has been a blessing to both me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to both he and his family. So I talk about him because I want people to understand the importance of a mentor, somebody that you can call on and count on in a situation where life has its ups and downs. You know, someone that has the knowledge and wisdom to be able to help you understand what's going on while you're in the midst of it. Sometimes when you're going through something, you can't think straight. So when you take that situation to someone, they can help you say, hey, go to the left, go to the right, because they understand and can see clearly when you may have clouded vision. Okay. So I always shout my mentor out, and I encourage people to get a mentor, someone you can trust, someone you can count on that will help you when you need it. And then I want you to get a show so you can shout your mentor out. All right. So let's jump into this. One of the highlights of the news cycle today is CNN has gotten rid of Chris Litch, for his involvement with running CNN into the ground. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, he's made some very bad decisions over the last 12 months with running one of the top internet cable news networks. And he just started taking the channel in a direction that was, a lot of people would say, they were a junior Fox. And they noticed some of the things and the decisions that he did with programming that were kind of interesting. Case in point, he got rid of Don Lemon, and then he turned around and decided to have a Trump town hall, which was nothing other than a promotional stunt for Donald Trump to get out there and try and persuade the followers of CNN to follow him. So the executives at um, CNN, they were getting complaints from various management and from various other reporters. So they said, okay, enough is enough. You got to go. So Chris Lynch, Licht, you're out of here. And I think it's good to stop some of the things that he was doing before it really, really got out of control. And it will begin to cost CNN, half $1 trillion because of what he has done. Okay. So stop it now. Don't go down this road. Prepare yourself for CNN making some turnarounds and fixing what's broken. So shout out to CNN. So speaking of Trump, they are definitely on his case once again. This week, they have been talking about the chief of staff that Donald Trump had to testify in front of the grand jury about those documents in Mar-a-Lago, as well as also on this week, the grand jury heard testimony from Secret Service agents. Now, they got two places where they're making testimony. I found this out about today about the same case in Florida as well as Washington, D.C. So they are collecting information very rapidly, and this is moving very fast because they have enough information now for the grand jury to bring back a decision on Trump knowingly knowing that the documents were top secret and he should not have had them. He has made testimony. I heard a statement made or an interview made earlier this week that one of the interns that used to follow him around recorded a conversation for accuracy purposes. He was making a press appearance and he made mention during that interview that he knew that he had top secret documents and that he could have them because he was president. He also exposed his deniability about, oh, I didn't know where they were and what they were. He exposed himself. He can no longer say that. That information has now been presented to the grand jury. So his defense against that I did not know, out the window. He can't use that as a defense, talking about what a moving company moved the wrong stuff. Yeah. He had full knowledge of what he had, and he actually, based on some testimony, shared that information about what American intentions were in Iraq about attacking certain destinations. So he knew full well what he was doing and how he did it. So I look for the grand jury in relationship to the documents to move very quickly and returning back federal charges against him. Now, keep in mind, now just to bring everybody up on the playlist, and I'm sure all of his fans, they're aware of what he does and they don't care because they love him so much. And he's the greatest thing since melted butter. But guess what? He's got the grand jury that came back with federal charges in New York, Manhattan. He's got the grand jury in Georgia that are going to be bringing charges between now and September for his conversation about just find me some more votes so that I can win the state of Georgia. Then he also has the grand jury about the documents, which is a federal grand jury, the classified documents that he had in Mar-a-Lago that he refused to let the archive have. And he also has the grand jury with the January 6th. So he's got four grand juries that are moving to indict him. Now, unfortunately, none of these grand juries or federal cases will stop him from continuously running to be the president again. But I don't think he can make it. That's just my opinion. I'm sure it's 6 million people out there would disagree with me. But I think that his followers, some of them are going to have to fade away because now they've got at least a half a dozen Republican candidates in the race. Now, one of the candidates in the race, Ron DeSantis, is in the race. He announced from Florida, the governor of Florida. And on this week, you know, he truly wants to be just like Donald Trump so bad that he has put himself in the felony crosshairs. There is a sheriff in Texas that are filing charges against him for flying people from Texas to Martha's Vineyard after lying to them, saying that we're promising you jobs and we're going to find you a place to work in Florida. But yet he sent them directly to Martha's Vineyard to weaponize those immigrants and people that are trying to find a better place to live. And then on this week, he sent another plane load to California. Now, what um, the sheriff in Texas is saying that this is human trafficking, and the fact that he had young people on those airplanes makes it even more serious. So, following in his mentor's footsteps, he has gotten himself in the crosshairs of felony charges, which I'm sure is not going to slow him down from trying to be the next president. But I don't think he can win. I'm just going, that's just my opinion. He has already ruined so many normal things in the state of Florida. He and his Republican legislators have caused all kinds of controversy about the alphabet people, changing Black history to read the way they wanted to read, and trying to criminalize the word woke, which was a term that was used by Black people to not be deceived by Europeans and what they say did or didn't happen. But critical race theory, that people are so afraid of, is the fact that history happened, and because of history, many of them and the wealth that they have, they don't want to own up to it. They don't want to say, hey, this didn't happen. They want to say it didn't happen, but it actually did, and they don't want to talk about it. So that's interesting in itself. Speaking about running for president, Cornel West, we all know the name, has thrown his hat into the running for president as an independent party. I don't know what Cornell is attempting to accomplish with this, but I can't envision him as a in the White House. I just can't envision it. Cornel West is a very intelligent man. He's been a professor at many universities. He's a very strong spokesperson for um, African American rights. But I think the powers to be would squash him like a bug. I think that on the Democratic side, I do believe that Biden is still the strongest candidate. And we still don't know who the strongest candidate is going to be coming out on the Republican side. But keep in mind, I have made many shows um, stating the facts, and the facts that the government is broken. And neither the Democrats or the Republicans have a plan to fix the broken government. I was in a conversation on yesterday, and one of the things that came out of the conversation is that the only way to fix this broken government is to have term limits. And until they put term limits in place where people have to come and go and start all over again, establishing what's best for the people, then government is going to remain broken, because the Democrats are not for the people as they say they are. They allow too many things to happen that the Republicans are doing without counteracting or trying to fix what the Republicans are doing. And of course, this current president, his favorite line is bipartisan agreement. They got the debt ceiling passed through by people on both sides, but the government is still broken. It's broken. Okay. You can quote me on that. Dr. Ron said the government is broken. Yes, it is. and it needs to be reevaluated and fixed so that the people, the will of the people, is on the forefront of our legislators' mind, not their personal agendas. I got to go off continent for a minute. Haiti had a flood over the last week, and they announced that there were 42 people killed and thousands displaced in the country of Haiti. Now, many of you who follow me, you know and understand that I talk about Haiti a lot. I have associates and friends that go to Haiti. There's a school in Haiti, Marmalade Haiti, that they work very hard to make sure those kids get an education, food, clothes, in order to be able to survive in a place where the government is broken there. You know, Haiti has a very strong history of kicking Europeans out of their country a long time ago. And now they have picked up European habits and they are struggling to survive. People go hungry. They don't have because they're afraid to allow European countries to come in, the U.S., to try to help because they're afraid. Because once they come in and offer assistance, they don't like to leave. They just want to come in and take over all of the country's riches, and they don't allow the country to have the ability to be able to settle itself and help its people. So I just wanted to speak about Haiti. Another disaster that occurred over the last week. India had a major train crash on last week where they're reporting 285 people killed and 700 people hurt, which speaks volumes to the infrastructure of that country being broken down, worn out, just like the United States. India's primary method of transportation from one end to the other, cross country or short and long trips, is the rail. They have many, many people over there and constantly traveling a system that is in badly need of repair. And I believe, just like in the United States, we're going to hear more and more about infrastructure failing because all of these entities have not done repair and upkeep. They'll raise the fees to travel on these failed infrastructure, trains and planes and buses, but they haven't put the money into fixing the rail system. So, my condolences out to the people in India that are suffering. Back to the U.S. now. I don't know if you know this or not, but over the last week, there was a FBI spy. That he was an FBI agent who was convicted of being a spy. He passed away on last week. They found him guilty of trading governmental secrets between the U.S. and Russia. They discovered him. They put him in jail for life. Well, now he's dead. So that was Robert Hansen, died on last week, a spy for Russia that was caught as he was employed for the United States FBI. So he's out of here. And last but not least, this is my final statement. If you live in the state of California, State Farm has opted to not write policies for the state of California. They have decided they've had too many payouts, too much risk, mountain slides, fires, too many natural disasters that have caused this company to decide, and this is major because I'm sure State Farm has made tons and tons of money in the state of California. So now they have decided that they're no longer going to write policies. Now, this is not an unusual incident because there are many insurance companies that have decided not to market and write policies in disaster ridden areas. Like many companies have stopped writing policies in Louisiana because they have been hit by so many hurricanes. So, companies that have made millions and millions of dollars off the people and their customers are now cherry picking where they want to make their money now. So it's crazy. If you live in California and you need to find another company, because State Farm was usually in the top 15 of insurance companies, because I've done research on that. When I choose what companies that in Illinois to work with for automobile, homeowners, you want a company that's got excellent customer service and they get to the bottom line very quickly with helping their customers recover their losses. And State Farm is usually in the top group, top 20. And there's a list, that they put out where they rate insurance companies. What we, for the Consumer Report, can come out. You can go see who they are so that you know who you're dealing with and who is the top in the top 20, top 10, top 5, and choose them. So California, you better go to that list now and begin to find out who you're going to get to replace who you have now if you are with State Farm. So that's my rant for this week. I want to encourage you, if you're interested in putting a show on Street News Now, I would encourage you to go over to streetnewsnow.com and fill out the application that you will find on that website, and someone in the administration will reach out to you and help navigate you through what it will take to get a show right here on Street News Now. The network is growing. We've picked up 3 new shows on this month on Street News Now. They're coming in the upcoming months, so you keep your eye out for programming. But there are shows that are going to be coming up very soon. So if you would like to be one of those shows coming up in the next weeks or months, reach out to us here and someone in administration will help you get your show up and going. I also want to encourage you to subscribe, like, and share. That's exactly what I need you to do. I need you to go over to whatever channel that you're viewing the show on, subscribe, like, and share. We need your support. We're growing a whole network here. My fearless leader, Mr. Lee Michaels, is on assignment once again. For those that don't know, in California, he has a limousine company. And with this limousine company, his assignments come in and he has to do those personally. He doesn't have a staff. Personally, he has to do those rides. So if you're in California and you're flying in, you might have Mr. Lee Michaels pick you up, a legend in the business. He's out there making all that money and meeting new people. So definitely keep your eyes out for him if you're in the California area. So once again, be sure subscribe, like, and share. Tell somebody about the show so that they can have an opportunity to enjoy what you enjoy on a regular basis. Now, we're going to get out of here for this week. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. So you be safe, be careful, And I will see you all next week. Stay blessed. Peace.